Just received my bind and fly F07V, which is your 3D capable UXiang Huey, UH-1D Huey. And I'm going to go over how to bind this helicopter with your existing UXiang transmitter that you might have, or with a Futaba. Okay, here we're going to go ahead and remove the canopy to access the bind button so that you can bind your bind and fly UXiang helicopter, 3D helicopter, with either a Futaba or the stock transmitter. But before attempting to bind it, you have to go ahead and input the parameters for this helicopter. The way I do that is I go in the, turn on the transmitter and go in the system setup menu. Don't touch any of the reverse functions or anything like that. What you'd have to do is just go to the throttle curve and the pitch curve by pressing this and holding it, and then scrolling down until you get to T curve. Press that, and I've already input the numbers, but on normal curve, the first input is 0, second is 60. This is the throttle curve, 65, 65, 65, 65, all the way through. And then you flip the 3D button up here. It goes to idle up, or 3D, and it's a flat 70 on all items, okay? 70%. So the only difference is on normal, you have the first as 0 so that you can bring the throttle down to 0. Next, you accept that and you go to pitch curve, P curve. Here, you follow each item. Here is 1 through 6. On normal, I have the first at 40, second at 45, third at 50, fourth at 65, and the fifth at 80. Then you flip it up, compare it to idle up. This is the idle up button. It goes to 3D or normal. Normal mode is down, up is idle up. So on 1, on idle up mode, with the switch up is 20, 2 is 35, 3 is 50, 4 is 65, and 5 is 80. Now, one thing you would note is the mid stick, which is around item 3, mid stick, the pitch should be about the same. So here it's 50 at idle up and 50 at normal. It's very important, otherwise your helicopter is going to jump up. Now, where did I get these pitch and throttle curves? In the manual that comes with this new V UH-1D V or 3D, they have provided the recommended normal and 3D pitch and throttle curves. These are the numbers that I input in the transmitter. Okay, to bind the transmitter to this helicopter, there's a button in the module that you need to press. And in order to access the module, you have to open the canopy. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws here that need to be opened. And we'll do that and access the canopy. Okay, remove the 4 screws that I showed you, and this just comes right off. And the bind button is right there. You can see it. There's the bind button right there. So the way to bind this, obviously we have to put in a battery. Okay. Turn on the transmitter. Make sure it's where you want it, the model that you want. Put the throttle cut on, and then turn on the helicopter and press the bind button as you do it. You're gonna press the bind button. Okay, we're gonna test this new 3D version of the UH-1D. As I told you, it's got a metal rotor head. That's the only main difference, and the board, of course. So we'll turn on the transmitter. I have all the parameters programmed in here as recommended by the manual. I'm going to set the timer for 9 minutes. 9-minute timer. We'll set it here because this transmitter doesn't have a time, so I'm just going to set it here. And I'm going to go on high rates, 6G mode. So much more capable. Definitely worth the difference. Steady, rock steady. This is my hands-free. Whoop. You got to remember, your throttle stick is not gonna, it's your elevation actually. You know, you have to make sure you don't forget between this helicopter and the other one that you're now flying fully collectible helicopter. It's a collective pitch helicopter now. Those curves, the pitch curves that were recommended in the manual provide a good starting point, but of course everyone has their own preferences, and you're welcome to update the curves. That's the beauty of a collective pitch helicopter that has curves. Both the throttle curve and the pitch curve can be adjusted. Sun's in my eyes today. Maybe I can go in. Very capable. I'm loving it. The only thing sometimes that worries me is the fact that this, even at 70%, the head speed seems to be a little high, but that might be okay for a helicopter this size. This is definitely fun. Let's do a Vietnam era run. Low level, low ground to the ground, taking enemy fire. Woo. This is some capabilities here. This is all on 6G. This is full tail. Just to check showing you the performance. So this is like the fastest rotation. And it's, now let's do some thumps. See how the tail holds. I'm gonna go idle up. This is pretty good, guys. I mean, seriously, for a helicopter this price, the tail holds pretty good. I mean, you can't ask for much better than this for under 300 bucks. Even the fact that it's a tail motor and controls so well is, oops, I hit the ground, but that's okay. Even this thing is sturdy. Nothing broke. But you know, the controls have come so far. They're so cool now that even a tail motor can handle the thumps like this. Normally in the old days, when you did that, the tail did not hold its position. It always, but here you see it's just pretty damn good. All right, we still have time. There's 9 minutes is a long time. So I'm gonna try to land now. I'm gonna switch back to normal mode, and and the curves at mid stick, it's at 50% on both for normal and 3D. If I switch to 3D now, you shouldn't see a jump. See, just the throttle goes up because it's at 75% instead of 70%, but the pitch is still at 50. And now I'm bringing it down again to 75. Throttle up. See, this is the right way of setting it up. You shouldn't have a jump in your helicopter when you switch from normal to 3D or idle up. So we're gonna go back down to normal and land. Beautiful.